Importing Reaper MIDI drums to TuxGuitar. I've been trying to figure this out for a long time, and finally, after reading a few things, I figured out what they were talking about. So, what I have here is my current song track with MIDI drums. And whenever I tried to move them over to TuxGuitar, it would end up coming out with like piano. Seems like a common issue. So reading, people said change it to channel 10. I couldn't figure that out for a while, but here's what I did. I'll simplify it by moving things to a new track. You might be able to do it in one track, but this worked for me pretty easily. So I took the whole drum track, selected that whole track, opened a new tab in Reaper, pasted those same drums here. I had my VST drum track up here just to make sure it sounded right, and then select everything, and then down here for simplicity I click glue items, and that basically puts everything in one track. So now you could probably do this by selecting all the tracks and just doing this also, but again, just gluing them together makes it easy so they all come out together. And then you right click, open the item properties, go down here to properties, and then right here, send as channel, click that and change it to 10, and then press OK. And then OK again. And then when you go up here to export file, export project MIDI, and these are my settings. It probably works other ways, but this is what I selected and it seemed to work just fine. So I exported that, I changed the name of it here, and here is that file. Going over to TuxGuitar, up here, file, import MIDI, and this is the second file. The first one is the output channel 1, this is output channel 10. Open that, transpose 0, and it automatically comes in as drums for once. Sounds very different on this MIDI, but then you can just change the tones on this if you want to. So I was messing around with this a little bit more, and here's the original track that I had with drums. And before gluing them all together, I went up to properties to try this, and going down here again, when you click this and it's not glued together, it basically says you have to review each individual piece of that track. So when you do this, is the error message. Well, it's not an error message, it's an advisory message that pops up, and you have to review one at a time. So if you press yes, nothing happens, it just comes up with that same screen, but you have to change that. And if you press OK, that's the next piece, and then the next piece, and then the next piece. So doing it with a glued track makes it a lot easier because you only have to do this with one time. There, made it through all of them. If you had 100, you'd have to do that 100 times. Okay, version number 2, probably the way that most people will do this. I have my Reaper track open and I'm trying to export these MIDI drums out into TuxGuitar. So you've got drums here, they are working, but they're not set up right. So what I'm going to do, just to make it really easy, right click, duplicate tracks. Once that loads, I will select all of these. Okay, selected, right click, glue items. That makes the drums just one single file. right click on that track, or on that item, I guess they call it. Go to properties, go down to the bottom, properties again, send as channel, enable that, change this to channel 10, press OK. Press OK again. Make sure this is the only track selected on this version of it. Go to File, Export Project MIDI. You have, I'll do entire project because that's all I need. If you wanted to, you could always select just that area of the song that you have. And then I'm going to change this to selected tracks only. And I'll go ahead and change this to test 3 just to make a new file for it. Save it, and save it. Then going over to TuxGuitar, the last one I tried, I'll close that. File, import project MIDI, or import MIDI. Test 3, the one we just saved. Open it, 0 transpose, and there it is again. So since it did the entire track, we have a lot of dead space in the beginning that I had some guitar stuff on, this and that. But the whole track is still there again.